In the heart of a quiet, cobblestone village stood a tiny shop with a faded wooden sign that read "Evermore Clocks," crafted with care. The shop belonged to an elderly clockmaker named Mr. Alder, a man of few words but infinite precision. Everyone in the village admired his clocks, not just for their craftsmanship, but because they always seemed to bring a sense of calm to their owners. However, none of them knew the secret Mr. Alder had kept hidden for decades. Every evening, after the shop closed and the village grew silent, Mr. Alder would descend into his basement workshop. The room was cluttered with gears, pendulums, and blueprints of intricate designs, but at its center stood a peculiar clock unlike any other. It was massive, with a golden face and hands that shimmered faintly, as if reflecting a light no one could see. Around the edges were strange markings that no villager could decipher. This clock wasn't for sale. It was the Timekeeper, a device that did more than tell time. It controlled it. Mr. Alder had built the Timekeeper in his youth, driven by a mix of curiosity and ambition. With it, he could rewind time, pause moments, or even glimpse into the future. But such power came with a cost. Every time he used the clock, a piece of his own time, his life, was taken away. Over the years, he had grown old far more quickly than others his age. One stormy night, as Mr. Alder polished the Timekeeper's golden face, he heard a faint knock at the shop's door. Surprised no one ever visited at this hour, he climbed the stairs and opened the door to find a young girl, soaked from the rain, clutching a broken pocket watch. "Please," she said, her voice trembling. "This belonged to my father. It's the only thing I have left of him. Can you fix it?" Mr. Alder hesitated. The pocket watch was in terrible shape, its gears rusted and its face cracked. "I'll try," he said softly and let her in. As the girl sat by the fire to warm herself, Mr. Alder examined the watch. It was beyond repair, its mechanism completely ruined. But as he looked at the hopeful expression on the girl's face, he couldn't bring himself to tell her the truth. That night, for the first time in years, Mr. Alder used the Timekeeper. He set its golden hands backward, rewinding time to the day the pocket watch had first broken. With a flick of his wrist, he altered history, preventing the watch from falling to the ground. In an instant, the once broken watch was whole again. The girl's eyes widened in amazement when Mr. Alder handed it back to her. "Thank you," she exclaimed, tears of joy streaming down her face. She didn't know how he had done it, but to her, it felt like a miracle. As she left the shop, clutching her father's watch, Mr. Alder felt a pang of exhaustion wash over him. He staggered back to the Timekeeper, noticing its golden hands had moved slightly forward. He knew what that meant. His life had been shortened once more. The next morning, the villagers found the shop unusually quiet. When they entered, they discovered Mr. Alder seated in his favorite chair, a serene smile on his face, and the Timekeeper ticking softly in the corner. Beside him was a note. "To the people of this village, time is the most precious gift we have. Use it wisely and cherish every moment." Though Mr. Alder was gone, his legacy remained. The villagers took the Timekeeper to the town square, where it became a symbol of gratitude and wonder. And every time its golden hands moved, they whispered the memory of a man who had given his own time to bring joy to others.